second. 1 second. Okay. 1 second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Anand Ravi. Please join.
तो अभी पीछे जाएंगे तो
I now request our patron-in-chief to kindly address the gathering.
Commanding officers, chief staff officers, officers in charge, controllers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank each one of you for taking time out to be with us at this rededication of the Naval Aviation Museum to aviation enthusiasts. So this, as all of us know, the museum was dedicated to the aviation fraternity in 1998 by Admiral Prashicha and Admiral Bharatan, Admiral Raju. So all the forefathers of naval aviation, 1998. So when I assumed charge as Flag Officer Naval Aviation, I found that there was no change in the last 20 years. It was exactly the same as the museum was in 98, and I was lucky to have been present at the inauguration then. I was a lieutenant commander and I brought my ship, INS Narshak, over here. So I found that it was a huge achievement to have set up this museum from scratch at that time. So when we came here, all of us in the Naval HQNA as well as Naval Aircraft Yard, who are the proud custodians of this museum, we decided that there was a gap, in the sense in the last 22 years since the inauguration of this museum, lots had happened in aviation. If you see the numbers of aircraft which were added to the inventory of the Navy, as well as various epic events, there were lots of air stations which were commissioned and many squadrons, as well as the epic award of President's Color to naval aviation after 67 years of service to the country. So we thought that it would be a fitting tribute to naval aviation to ensure that the museum encompassed all these events as well as inductions into the naval aviation. Also, in the 20 years which ensued after the original setting up of the museum, technologies had leapfrogged. So there were lots of new technologies which could be used to present the aircraft and everything connected with aviation in a state-of-the-art kind of a manner. So we went about setting up the aviation, the aero engines section on my left. The entrance was changed to the entrance on my left, and we changed the layout so that it catered for everyone in the public. In the sense, so what we were acutely aware, we interact. This was my favorite haunt, so I used to come here very often and interact with the public who came here. So most of the people who came here were students and people from all walks of life, and I realized that most of them didn't even know that the Navy had aircraft. So I said that it needs to be slowly introduced to the visitor. So if you, I mean, I'm sure all of you will visit the museum soon after this formal inauguration. So we start off with there's a huge hall over here which traces the history of flight from the time of Da Vinci and onward to 1903 with the Wright brothers. And there's actually a timeline extending from 1853, 1903 to the present day. So if you walk around that room, you actually find out the entire history of aviation in general, as well as naval aviation, from the first landing on an aircraft carrier in 1910 to the various battles of the Second World War, like Coral Sea and Leyte Gulf, Midway, and Chuck Yeager going supersonic in 1947, the space shuttle, and everything to do with aviation. So when you do one circuit of that room, you find out everything about what aviation is all about. And then we introduce you to the aircraft carriers which India has had, the 4 aircraft carriers with scale models and all the technical particulars of the aircraft. Thereafter, we have a room with the 34 aircraft which flew in our Navy over the last 7 decades. So they're in 2 parts, the aircraft which are in service today and an older section with the decommissioned aircraft. Thereafter, on the first floor, you have an introduction to all the air stations and the aircraft in each of these stations and each of the squadrons which the Navy has. So if you see, it's methodically laid out, and so by the time you come up to the squadrons, you know exactly what aviation is all about. And then there's a section for all facets of naval aviation, like, be it aeromedicine, air traffic control, meteorology, and various air technical, the most important thing, which the wind between the wings. So there are sections which highlight the amazing contribution of each aspect of naval aviation. And we have an audiovisual room with state-of-the-art projection system as well as sound, and we screen movies over there continuously. What's special about this museum, having had the opportunity to go to all the worthwhile museums in the world, actually, from Smithsonian to the one in Moscow and UK, typically in other museums you have to pay for each thing. Over here it's a single payment for that ticket, and then it covers everything, including the movie. Other add-ons are a virtual reality simulator which is in the ticket section, and there's a souvenir section as well as a well-appointed cafeteria aptly named the Glass Cockpit. You get a view of all the aircraft over here. So it's like being in heaven as far as anyone who likes aircraft. I mean, you can spend hours over here, and that's what our whole aim is, like as a family, it would be a great opportunity for everyone to get an insight into our life. And besides the 20 odd aircraft which are already in display, and we hope to increase these numbers as well. So I would like to place on record the exceptional work done by Naval Aircraft Yard, the current boss of the aircraft yard, which is Raja Vinod, as well as his predecessors, who all worked tirelessly, and Anand Ravi, Commander Manmohan, who put in a lot of effort, and huge support by the CWE, Mr. A.K. Singh, and there's been contribution from all fronts. So I really hope that this is a grand success, and we've got inputs from the youngsters as well. So certain things which my generation doesn't really think about, like there are 2 selfie points as you go in there, and the souvenir store, as I mentioned, and also we have a Hall of Silence where we have the names of 70 odd of our brothers who have expired in the line of duty, and so that's a reminder of the sacrifices of the men who gave their today for our tomorrow. So after our efforts, I mean, even before it reached this stage, I was happy to tell you that about a year ago we got the Traveler's Choice Award from TripAdvisor. And if you Google places to see in Goa, the Naval Aviation Museum appears in the top 5 places. And we have an average of about 1 lakh visitors every year. So during the season time, you have something like 500 footfalls on the weekends. So I truly hope that this museum grows from strength to strength, and all the Goans as well as the tourists who come here get an insight into what naval aviation is all about. Another thing is we've sent out an invite to all schools, especially underprivileged schools, for free entry for the kids. Once a month, we can look after something like 50 children, where we will show them the museum and host them at snack and lunch on a monthly basis. So this hasn't had too many takers because of the COVID pandemic, but I hope with the exposure given by my friends from the media, I hope we have lots of children coming here and hopefully wearing these wings someday, inspired by what they see in this museum. Once again, thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now kindly request Mrs. Pynumootil, President Naval, for ribbon cutting ceremony.
Sorry.
Zoom वाला सर, zoom out करो। अभी होने
Everybody may not like to read everything. They would like to go to 1950. They can directly just approach 1950 and they'll get all the details. This color they can appreciate whether you want to read about the Indian Navy or the general aviation.
एक ट्रेन आना।
Thank you for coming.
This is actually the complete 1971 war and we depicted.
लाइट लगा रहे?
And we find sometimes there are
दूसरा इधर साइड में लगा।
days and they don't British. They keep documenting it and stuff.
Please allow photographs from us. So the kids,
MBC police, yes.
NBC was escaping. So all the award winners are there. उसका
अभी चालू होने कुछ है
ये चारों एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर्स जो इंडियन नेवी में रहा है ओल्ड विक्रमादित्य न्यू विक्रम जो इंडियन एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर सो द मॉडल्स टू स्केल मॉडल्स है एंड ऑल द पर्टिकुलर्स हिस्ट्री टनेज ऑन द एयरक्राफ्ट बाय केयर सो इफ अ चाइल्ड विल कम हियर बड़े बड़े पूरा हिस्ट्री
होगा सर 2 साल पहले जब आप यहाँ पे आए फाउंड की 20 साल हो गए टू किट इन योर हैंड एंड यू हैव कंप्लीट स्पीक अबाउट
So what happens is now our forefathers, ये जो founding members हैं, Admiral Basricha, Admiral Bharatan, Admiral Kass Raju, Admiral Tagliani, उनके ड्रीम से ये बना था 1998 में. तो we found that 20 साल के बाद we have to continue, like have a class with them, lunch provide करेंगे, free of charge for the museum, so that we encourage the next generation to take up a profession in the Navy. And what I found, I spent 4 years here, I found that very few Goans, I've realized that Goa mein sea affinity for the sea, I feel we should all work together to encourage the youth to join the Navy. And I feel that places like this museum will encourage and motivate our youth, especially Goan youth, to join the Navy.
आता है आपको ले लो लाइट में रेडी है